Screw it. Candles. I'm making a video about candles. Sure, candles. Why not? Okay, hear me out. Where does the wax go? I mean, where does the wax go when you burn a candle? Because it's the wick that's burning, isn't it? And the wax just kind of melts. But the candle still burns down, and not all of the burning down is from wax dripping away. We know it's not all from wax dripping away, because when you have a tea light, there's nowhere for the wax to drip away to, and yet it still burns down. Does it evaporate? Does it burn off? Does it have to make a sneaky getaway from its original display at Madame Tussauds when its human counterparts decide to step back from royal life? I just don't know. The truth is, this is a very easily answered question. In fact, if you go and look up candle on Wikipedia right now, you don't even have to scroll beyond the contents box to get your answer. But if I just told you the answer, then there wouldn't be a YouTube video, would there? So let's take our time over this, and learn hopefully just a little bit more about this extremely weird and pointless topic choice. So I'm just about to set light to this candle, and you may notice that the set that I'm about to set it light to in is entirely made of cardboard and paper. You should not do this. Please don't do this. Gosh darn it. Attempt the third. Please. Waxes are substances that are made up mostly of higher alkanes, an alkane with 8 or more carbon atoms, and or fats. Don't worry, that's almost all the chemistry in this video already. There are a number of naturally occurring waxes, most notably beeswax and carnauba wax. While the former, and this might shock you, comes from bees, the latter is harvested from the leaves of the carnauba plant. Beeswax has been used to make candles for millennia, although rarely by the general public, because beeswax was, and continues to be, enormously expensive. No, Bert, I'm not paying $11.99 for a 4-pack of lip balm. The prohibitive cost of beeswax meant that the majority of candles were made from tallow, a processed form of animal fat, traditionally from beef or mutton. Tallow, however, had the unfortunate side effect that it smelled of animal fat, particularly when burned. The smell of manufacture was so strong, in fact, that several European cities banned production. It would be a massive oversimplification to say that the reason paraffin wax was invented and widely adopted was because tallow sometimes didn't smell very nice. So, in 1830, a German chemist called Karl von Reichenbach first refined paraffin wax from petroleum because he just really didn't like the smell of tallow, I guess. Luckily for Karl and his sensitive little nose, around 25 years later, James Young managed to develop a commercially viable manufacturing method for paraffin wax, and it rapidly replaced other oils and waxes that were being used in the industry at the time because of its low price and high quality. Interestingly, however, in the early days of paraffin wax production, the methods of extraction produced quite low-quality product, which had the side effect of the wax having a very low melting point. This made storing the candles challenging and transporting them to hot countries practically pointless. This problem was solved with the addition of stearic acid, which increased the melting point to a more practical temperature. This brings us to the candle on my desk. It's nice, isn't it? Fun fact, it's made of wax, but I don't know what kind. We're nearly at the part of the video where I talk about how a candle actually works.
So welcome to the part of the video where I tell you how a candle actually works.
When you light a candle, you set fire to a small section of wax-coated wick at the top, vaporizing a small amount of wax and allowing it to combine with the oxygen in the air. Hi, Real Life Tom here. I thought I should mention that one of the reasons this candle was so difficult to light was because the wick wasn't coated in wax, meaning the only fuel to get the candle going in the first place was the string and nothing from the wax. Well, I'll shut up again now. This newly created mixture of hydrocarbons and oxygen in the air ignites, creating a constant flame. This flame is hot enough to melt the top layer of wax in the main body of the candle, and this newly melted wax is drawn up into the wick by capillary action, allowing it into the center of the flame, where it too becomes hot enough to vaporize and burn in the flame. This creates a cycle. As the top layer of wax is melted, drawn into the flame, and burned, it provides the energy for the same to happen to the next layer of wax. As the candle burns down, any excess length in the wick just gets consumed by the flame. Except for when it isn't. It wasn't until the 19th century that candle manufacturers started using the coiled wicks we see today, which meant that before then, some wicks wouldn't simply burn away as quick as they needed to, and had to be trimmed as the candle went down, else the flame would become too smoky and dim. There were even specialised tools to do this, which, although designed specifically not to snuff out candles, went by the name candle snuffers. With the invention of coiled wicks, now, as it burns, the wick folds over itself back into the hottest part of the flame, removing the need to trim the wick and ensuring consistent combustion. Brilliant, innit? This steady, predictable decrease is why you get such things as candle clocks. In a controlled environment, the candle should burn down at a constant, predictable rate. Unfortunately for the candle clock industry, no one's dining room table is a very controlled environment, and consequently the candle is liable to drip or go out or be knocked over in a particularly violent game of dobble. There is also, of course, the issue that people would rather look at their phone or a clock to tell the time, instead of daily purchasing and having to tend to a new candle. This failure on the part of the candle to, hold a candle to less ancient technologies led to a dramatic decline in the chandlery industry right through the end of the 19th and into the 20th century. Quaint little inventions such as, for example, light bulbs made the everyday use of candles almost superfluous, and they began to be seen as a decorative or novelty product. Even my beloved paraffin wax has since fallen into disuse because of rising costs and the discovery of cheaper, safer alternatives. And yet we still use them. Birthdays, Christmas, everyday dinners, the candle industry had an estimated worth of $8.38 billion in 2018, and it's predicted to keep... Wait a second. Sorry, no, really, wait a second. How long has it been like that? Oh my god, I feel a bit faint. Oh, dang it. I thought this might happen. When you've been messing around with as many candles and different things as I have, there's always a risk that you're going to accidentally summon a satanic cult or something. And that seems to be what's happened. So, hello, this is my face. This will be the first time you've seen it, I suppose. It doesn't normally have the blood on it. I'm sorry about the blood. There's not much I can do about it. I think I got through everything in the video, so that's good. And I'm just sorry it kind of had to end this way, and I don't really know when the next one's going to happen. So, wish me luck. This will be the end card. Is this the end card? Comment below, tell me if this is the end card. And subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. And maybe if you do, I won't be sacrificed or something. I don't know what Satanists do. Hello? Anyone? Preferably not a satanic cult member.